What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and a stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so, and this way you won't miss out on new videos. Remember, our new videos come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thanks for hitting the like button for us as well down below. Also, I'm giving away $1,000 in our What's in the Box contest here, and I'm giving away a clue here at the end of this video on how you can win money directly from me. So make sure to watch all the way to the end. You could get a clue to what's in that box, and you could win money directly from me. So make sure to watch all the way to the end of this video. We have more and more states here on a daily basis considering stimulus checks for their residents, removing gas tax or lowering the gas tax here almost every single day, as well as Congress on the federal level doing both of these or considering both of these here as well. Here is the latest state, and it's a very big one, New York. Check this out. The state of New York says a gas tax reduction in New York is on the table, or possibly stimulus checks here as well. The New York governor, Kathy Hochul, says with their budget that is due here is the details. Check this out. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is open to reducing gas prices in New York through a temporary gas tax reduction, which every time you go to fill up gas would put a little bit more money in your pocket. New York Governor Kathy Hochul confirmed a potential gas tax reduction is on the table and in negotiations with legislative leaders, as we're seeing this from more and more states here on a daily basis. Speaking to reporters in the New York Capitol, she was asked whether the state budget due next week will include either a gas tax cut or some sort of rebate check for motorists, similar to what California is considering, where they're considering now $400 checks to people with cars registered in California, up to $800 per household, to $400 checks in California. The federal government is now considering this here as well. As you can see here from Business Insider, the White House has privately discussed sending checks to car drivers dealing with high gas prices. So this would be a stimulus check here on the federal level. Remember, previously they had sent out checks to Americans making less than $75,000 or $150,000 for couples, but they also could send out stimulus checks to car drivers, which would be basically that send out to people with car registrations, which is a different way to send out a stimulus check potentially, because this is kind of the way that California is doing it. So it's a way to send out a stimulus check, but a lot of people have a negative stigmatism about stimulus checks, saying that, just some people say, stop sending out free money. So this, and I'm not saying everybody does, but we know that some people think that way. So this is potentially a way to say, well, this isn't free money. This is to help with high gas prices. This is to help out with high inflation. So they could send it out, instead of sending it out the old way, they could send it out to car drivers, people with car registrations. And this is what California is considering as well, which would be $400 checks or $400 debit cards in California per person, $800 per household. Whether they send it out through a debit card or a check, checks would probably be easier, but they have said that they could be debit cards. Remember that the third stimulus check on the federal level, they did actually send out some debit cards to people. There were several million debit cards that were sent out to people, but you didn't have to use them on gas or anything like that. They were just a regular old debit card that you could use on anything. So they weren't necessarily like gas debit cards. Some people are confused on them, thinking you only need to use them on gas. I don't believe that is the case. You could use it for groceries. You could use it for anything that accepts a debit card. Okay. I believe that's just sending out a check or sending out a direct deposit would be much easier because people could use it for rent. You don't have to use it at a place that accepts a debit card would be a lot easier. And that's what California did last time as well. They sent out checks, they sent out direct deposits. It was a lot easier. So, but California sent out checks last year to over 27 million people. About two-thirds of entire California's population got stimulus checks last year for $600 and an additional $500 if they made below $75,000 for the state of California last year. Okay. Now they have $45 billion again this year. And of course, they're just one of the states that are doing this. There's over 12 different states now that are proposing or actually have approved the stimulus checks here for 2022. I just did a really big video that goes over the states that have already approved them and are already sending them out or are in the process of doing this here for 2022. And there's a lot more here going on, like the federal government and New York as well, and a lot of new states here literally by the day coming out here, as well as the federal government here as well. New York says it's on the table. We're having those conversations. And again, the timing of the budget is perfect to address this. The state's new fiscal year begins this upcoming Thursday. Hochul has been asked several times about relaxing the state's gas taxes amid a major increase in per gallon prices that's partly driven by the conflict in Ukraine, but never had fully embraced the idea as strongly as she did this Friday. The average gallon of regular gas in New York is 4.35 compared to 291. That's about the average. 291 as what it was a year ago. 435 is a little bit higher than the average across the country. New York, as I previously reported, is also considering, as you can see here from this headline, 2 million Americans could get automatic checks worth $970 under a state proposal, as you can see here, that could be coming here as well as part of their stimulus money that they're spending here. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is looking to use $2.2 billion to provide a property tax rebate check to homeowners in the state here. That could be coming here as well. $2.2 billion in property tax rebate checks. She is calling for a $216.3 billion budget in New York, which would be a 3.1% spending increase, boosting funding for property tax relief and schools, among other industries. The property tax relief would be known as the Homeowner Tax Rebate Credit and would be provided to low and middle income families in New York. Seniors would also be eligible, as would New York City homeowners. Ms. Hochul is calling for this one-year program as an extension to the existing property tax relief credit program, which expired in 2019. The benefit would be a percentage of the homeowner's existing STAR benefits, according to the proposal. President Biden sends a warning to Russian President Putin saying, quote, don't even think about moving on NATO territory, sending a warning to Russian President Putin. If you make a move on NATO territory, it is a declaration of war against the United States and all 30 NATO territories as well, as things are heating up across Russia, Ukraine, and the United States here. Putin hosts a panel here recently claiming that his country is a victim of cancel culture amid his military invasion of Ukraine. So as he bombs innocents and hospitals and maternity wards, he's claiming that he's a victim of cancel culture, that he should be allowed to do this, and that the rest of the world is trying to cancel culture him. I know you can't make this stuff up, so you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. But you can't believe this guy. He's just literally crazy. You can let me know your thoughts, but yeah. Apparently, Biden's remarks yesterday, where he said that quote Putin can't remain in power. Uh, Everybody was a little bit caught off guard of that because it was not part of what he was supposed to say. He went a little bit off script. Remember that all presidents have a script. It's not just Biden, even Trump and all previous presidents. When they go out to speak to crowds, they have a script. They don't just go out there and free speech it. No president does. They always have prepared remarks. Well, his remarks yesterday of when he said that Putin should not remain in power was not really planned, and everybody was a little bit caught off guard, including the rest of the White House. And well, you can see here the U.S. ambassador says that Biden's remarks on Putin were, quote, principled human reaction after Biden met refugees yesterday. And a lot of people think that Biden should, and really the rest of the America should just own it, not really walk it back, because the vast majority of people in the world and the United States think that Putin should be removed from power, not just outside of Russia, not just in Ukraine, that he should be removed from power in Ukraine and not have, be taking power, in places he shouldn't, but he should be removed from power in Russia as well. So, here's this comment again. This is a very major thing. It only takes a few seconds. Check this out.
A dictator bent on rebuilding an empire will never erase a people's love for liberty. Brutality will never grind down their will to be free. Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia, for free people refused to live in a world of hopelessness and darkness. We will have a different future, a brighter future, rooted in democracy and principles, hope and light, of decency and dignity, of freedom and possibilities. For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
Yeah, so you let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Do you think Putin should remain in power? If you were the president of the United States and you've already said that, what would you do? It's already been said. I mean, think about the things that Putin says to the rest of the world. He's literally threatening us and the rest of the world with nukes on a daily basis. And what do we think is going to happen here going forward? It's just, the other thing here is that Russia and Ukraine have come to a little bit of a stalemate here. In fact, we're seeing some headlines like this. Putin will soon have no choice but to stop the invasion of Ukraine, a former U.S. general says. The question here is that how desperate will Putin get? Will he start to use nukes when he gets desperate? That's the question here. And how desperate will he get? And what happens when he gets desperate? Putin will likely be forced to stop his war against Ukraine, a retired U.S. general told a Business Insider. It's not because he wants to halt his military operation, but because he has no choice. Putin, quote, has basically reached the capacity of what his military can do for him in Ukraine, unless he starts to do things like use chemical warfare and nukes. But this may happen within weeks. And Russian forces have sustained heavy losses and subjected Ukraine cities to indiscriminate attacks. This has come from retired U.S. Army General Kevin Ryan, who said he believed this to be the most likely scenario to play out, as Putin has already, quote, failed to accomplish his main military goals. Okay, next up, let's do our next clue to the item of what's in the box contest. We are giving away $1,000 in total here in our next kind of giveaway here. So this is just kind of our way of giving back to our viewers here because we love you guys. You're a part of our family, part of our community here. So the way this works is if you can guess what's in that box via our clues, you could win $100 from us. And we're giving $100 away to 10 people for $1,000 total. We've done this multiple times in the past, just kind of our way of giving back. So the way it works is if you can guess correctly, to guess, all you need to do is leave a comment down below. If you guess correctly, you'll be entered into the pool of people who have guessed correctly. And from there, we will have randomly picked 10 people to win $100 each for a total of $1,000. Hope that makes sense. If you've watched our show in the past, you kind of realize how this works, okay? So we're giving away 10 clues. So that'll help you kind of guess what's in the box. And this is clue number 2. I recommend you write down these clues so you can kind of keep track of them. Yeah, one clue per video. You can go back and watch the previous video to watch to get the previous clue. You can guess as many times as you like. It's completely free to watch, to subscribe. I don't charge anything for anything. Okay, so keep that in mind. So clue number 2 here is the item in the box has a message on it. The item in the box has a message on it. So if you think you know what's in the box, please leave a comment down below. You can guess as many times as you like. It doesn't cost anything. So feel free to leave a comment down below with what you think is in the box down below in the comments. So let me know your thoughts. Go ahead and guess. It's just you can guess as many times as you like. So, yeah, make sure to subscribe down below. Don't forget to hit the like button. There'll be more clues coming up here shortly. You can click here to watch my recent video here, my most recent video. And this video, if you haven't seen this, this is a really good video with it covers all the states that have announced stimulus checks here recently. There's over a dozen of them and the federal stimulus check programs here that have just been announced here as well. There's a lot of them. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.